Hey guys, how's it going? Expat Collin here. Well, just do a little work here in the car. Gonna change out a battery here really quick. And so while I'm doing that, figured I might as well chat a little bit about some current events. Everybody is talking about. Watch the news and see what's going on with what happened in Louisiana, in New Orleans, and and then in Las Vegas. And it just I really want to believe the news, but they just don't. They don't really collaborate. I mean, you look at the situation that goes on, um, and then you get conflicting reports. Was it? Wasn't it? Were they alone? Were there more people involved? And it's back and forth and yes and no, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Hard to really know who to believe in and who to listen to. Especially the guy in Vegas. That one just doesn't add up to me. You see this guy, and even other experts were talking about it. Pretty rudimentary way of killing yourself, especially from a Green Beret. And it just seems real convenient that this car burns up to the extent of the guns, even made of metal, are completely burned, charred, just melted down, and yet his military ID survived, his passport. I mean, I don't know much about all that kind of stuff. I'm no expert in any way, of any of this kind of stuff, but I do know that if I guess if my thought were to kill myself, I wouldn't be doing it with all of my personal documents in the car with me, especially being a military guy. I mean, you'd think that you'd want the authorities to work at it a little bit, give them some work to do once you're gone, and not make it just so glaringly obvious. I mean, just, I don't know, I'm just saying. And seems like you would expect a little bit more sophistication out of somebody like that. Not choosing I don't know, I mean, a Tesla car. I mean, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, with the conflicting reports, did they work alone? Were there more people involved? First they said yes, then they said no. And you see, both these guys came from the same military base and all this stuff, and then they tell us that there's no involvement between the two of them. And I look at that, and then I look at the way this whole situation was handled with the drones, for example. About government comes out, nobody seems to, now the news just dropped it. You don't hear about it anymore. Totally dropped. Drones flying all over the place, but it just, everybody got used to it now. It drops out of the news. As soon as it drops out of the news cycle, nobody talks about it anymore. It's just not happening, or it never happened. And, you know, I can tell you one thing, being on the outside looking in, being that I live in another country, a foreign country, and you don't see any of that stuff happening here. It doesn't happen. You know, nobody gives a flying fuck about flying drones around any countries in Central America like Honduras. This is going on in the States, and there's a reason for that. And when the authorities come out and on one hand they say they don't know what it is, and yet they tell you not to worry about it, you should worry about it. I mean, you should worry about it. It's like, how can you tell me not to worry about something when you don't know what it is? You see, what it seems like to me, you know, and I could be, you know, maybe I don't know anything. Maybe I'm just as ignorant as the next guy, but it seems like to me that it's a test. Whether it be from our own government or whether it be from a foreign government, either way you want to look at it, it's a test. Put these things out there and see how the population reacts. Keep track of all that. How do they react? You know, how many calls do you get? How long does it take for everything to die down? How many people take shots at them? Because that's one thing that, you know, people that took shots at them got in trouble. Well, it's like, if you don't know what it is, where they came from, and someone decides to take the matter in their own hands, that tells me a lot. When the all of a sudden the authorities react and a person gets arrested or gets fined or whatever because they took shots at these drones. Well, what are you worried about? That tells me that the government definitely knows what's going on. And, you know, like I said, that kind of stuff isn't happening here. It's happening there in the States. We're all on the outside looking in, observing this insanity that's going on in the United States. And it's just like, you know, what the actual fuck is going on? So, you know, I apologize about the language and everything, guys, but, you know, it's just, it's crazy when you see all this stuff going on. And then the media and the government thinks that the population, and maybe some of them are, I don't know, but, you know, they think the majority of us are so stupid we can't really figure out what's going on. Well, like I said, they're testing people, you know, and if it's a foreign government, well, then you should really be worried. And even if it was the US government, the problem is other governments are watching. And the dumb fucks that they are just showed everybody in the whole world, even our enemies, exactly what you can do. You can just fly drones. You don't even have to be in the States. The operator doesn't even, they don't even have to be in the States. You got satellite connections. You can have drones activate inside of the United States. Okay. And, you know, you can outfit drones with weapons, with bombs, you know, and you just basically showed them how to do it. Get a couple of drones, put some nuclear warheads on them, and guess what? Your early detection system just went to shit because you don't have missiles coming in or anything like that. I mean, hey, if some, you know, random guy like me, an American expat in Honduras, could think up of this idea, don't you think that our enemies, someone who really knows what they're doing, might be thinking about this as well? That's why our military leaders, our politicians, our leaders, I don't know what they got going on up here in their brain. But I'll tell you what, it's not very much. It's not very much. And this is why everybody looks at us as a joke around the world. And it's pretty sad what you know, things are coming to. So, yeah. Anyway, well, I'm going to get this thing started up and see what happens here. So, let's see here. So anyway, yeah, I guess I'll just keep recording and let you guys come along for the ride. Let's see here. I get my keys. And so that's kind of stuff that I think about, goes through my mind. And but I guess, like the governors and everybody else said, just don't worry about it. Nothing to worry about. And let this thing run for a while. That didn't sound good. Yeah, it's actually a older battery that I put back in. It's a long story, but I want to get it charged up and see how it works again here and stuff. So I bought this newer one, but it's not working. So anyway, but all right, guys. Well, as I promised, tomorrow. Let's see, today's Friday. Tomorrow on Saturday, we're gonna go here in downtown, next to the Central Plaza where the cathedral is, and then we're gonna go to the Cerrito de la Cruz, which is the Little Cross Mountain. So it's a little observatory. There's a little path going up there. Not the same one. If you guys remember a while back, I did a video where my wife and I went on my motorcycle and we went over to this other city called Catacamas. And there's there's like 400, almost 500 stairs going up this mountain. That's a different one. This one here is actually a lot nicer and it's smaller. You don't have to walk so far to get up there. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. So if you guys saw in the community post I put on this morning, right off the bat, never expected this at all. I got the video taken down because, wouldn't you believe it, the opening music was copyrighted. Now, I never imagined that because I've been using that app to edit my videos and put the videos together for years now. And the only thing is, I've never used that particular song. I've used a different song, the one that's on the CO visit, and never had a problem with that one. And this other one, immediately. Woke up this morning, video was down. And I had an email from YouTube saying it was copyrighted, and then you can do this, do that. I was like, that. I was like, screw that. I'm just going to re-upload it. I'll redo it. It's not even worth it. So, because that's from an app. It's an editing app. And, those songs are free. So, I don't know. Anyway, but such is life. All right, Expat Collin here, signing off.